Listen, I feel like I said it last chapter, but I will say it one more time for the people in the back that didn't hear me last time. Chapters like this are just exactly why I am reading Sakamoto Days. Just absolutely ridiculous, the shenanigans that we get into in this chapter, and it just makes me so happy to see Yuto Suzuki just drawing again exactly what I would have wanted out of the final battles. Just absolute crazy choreography, producing some of the craziest things that I would have never envisioned possibly happening in a shonen battle manga. And that is exactly why Sakamoto Days is some of the most fun weekly shonen to read. Because if you would have told me that Kamihate showing up to help Heisuke here, well, I mean, for one, the fact that Heisuke got an entire street sign pushed through his body and he's just kind of chilling and okay. I mean, he is kind of coughing up blood the entire time, but I do think that's kind of funny. But either way, Kamihate showing up and not just being able to handle both the luchadore and Kumanomi in long ranged and also close quarters combat. Are you kidding me? Kamihate starts shooting bullets that are actually able to pierce the luchadore's steel skin, which is one impressive in and of itself because Heisuke needed the full supernatural force of Kumanomi's magnetism to accomplish that. And then Kamihate just starts using the actual barrel of his sniper rifle as like a melee weapon to block Kumanomi's punches. He starts throwing kicks and then he crushes her head with the butt of the sniper rifle. I mean, the muzzle maybe, I don't know, I'm using the wrong words because this is just absolute peak fiction to me. And Kumanomi goes to kill Heisuke the exact same way that she ended up killing Hyo. And Kamihate risks his sniper rifle. I'm assuming this prized weapon that he has cherished and taken with him and is basically the only representation of his character that we know at this point. I really was wondering if Yuto Suzuki was going to show us Kamihate's face in this reveal, but you know what? I'm okay if we never get it. And if we do get it, I don't know if we'll ever be satisfied with what Kamihate looks like, if we're gonna be honest. But getting back into the chapter here, absolutely funny to me that what ends up being the defeat of Kumanomi, the wrestler, and you know what, by proxy, what ends up giving Lu Xiaotang and Granny Mio an advantage in their fight with the police officer, which I imagine is what we're gonna be getting back to after this, is the power of friendship. If this manga is going to rely on our characters not actually killing people, if they just have to incapacitate and knock them out, and the only way that we're able to defeat these villains that are just willing to actually kill people is through the power of friendship, I just think that is just right up Sakamoto Days' alley. It is just ridiculous enough to be believable and funny in the series, and it being in the exact same chapter that we see Kumanomi using her magnetism to just pull a train track off the rails and into the city as a train follows the train tracks and to the point where she's literally throwing a whole train at Kamihate and Heisuke. I'm running out of buzz and zany weird words to say that I just love this chapter personally. And even though it might be a little gag and like comedic relief to have a character like Kumanomi and the luchadore who are presented as such a humongous threat get taken out in such a way, if you really think about it, it does have all of the makings of a really good plot development because Kamihate, the world's greatest sniper, or at the very least the former world's greatest sniper after Heisuke broke his record with that final bullet last chapter, and Heisuke, the dragoon, the marksman, the character that was said would never become a good assassin if all he focused on was marksmanry. They are together, and again, Kamihate as this loner character that never even shows his face. The fact that this character of all people is giving a speech about how friends are important, and Kumanomi is immature because she has yet to realize that just because she herself is strong, that she doesn't need anybody, and that is the wrong way to go. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the ultimate energy and focus formula. Use my code NOOP now for 10% off, and thank you GamerSupps for sponsoring the channel. It shows the intelligent battle tactics and strategy that is required of a sniper of Kamihate's level, because just being in the area requires Kamihate to understand it's morning time, the exact time of day, clear skies and the weather patterns, where the humidity is at, what the wind velocity of everything is, what direction they're pointing from and what direction the wind is blowing, what favorable conditions best suit his weapons and shot. I mean, that is literally what a Masterclass sniper would need to know, because all of those things can affect the bullet that you fire. So with Kamihate aiming up at the sky, Heisuke uses a bullet to shoot into the weather helicopter that is circling up ahead. And as that crash lands into the tunnel, it ends up, I don't know if this is proper science, if this is incorrect. Someone in the comments could probably tell me, because they're probably much more smart about something like that than I am. But the helicopter crashing into the bridge and collapsing the bridge ends up creating some kind of air vacuum air cannon, which ends up creating a huge wind tunnel that pulls a bunch of debris, motorcycles, vehicles, and everything back forward and through the tunnel, ricocheting and shooting it forward like a gun as it just erupts right into Kumanomi and most likely takes her out of the count, I have to imagine. I would be surprised if this battle wasn't over, because that is about as embarrassed as you possibly can get for Kumanomi. Kumanomi, as a character that was introduced to be this massive powerhouse and realistically has, in my opinion, one of the strongest abilities in all of Sakamoto Days, has to constantly just be destroyed in the worst ways, because honestly, I think she's too strong. I think Yuto Suzuki made so strong of a power that no one in his series is able to properly handle, so we have to get crazy things like the air cannon to defeat her. And the power of friendship is the reason that we're capable of doing things like that. And you know what? It may sound like I'm complaining, but I'm really not, because like I said in the beginning of this review, this is exactly what I'm reading Sakamoto Days for. I don't read Sakamoto Days for it to make sense. I don't read Sakamoto Days for the great story and plot and how the characters all get just the most amazing, satisfying endings and payoffs. I read Sakamoto Days for the exact reason I read the very first couple of chapters, because it's genuinely just fun to read. It is unique, and I sometimes cannot predict how these characters are gonna get no diffed. And for Heisuke's, what is most likely going to be his final fight, helping in Lou's fight and having Kamihate deem him the new world's greatest sniper, what a great way to go out. And if this is the kind of level of fiction that Yuto Suzuki is gonna continue penning when it comes to the final battle, I hope that Lou's final battle with the police officer is able to turn around in just the same way, because it's no secret that I'm not really, enjoying that side of the things since Granny Mio showed up, and Lou just seems like she really has fallen behind the rest of the crew. And I know, what was I supposed to expect, the character that hasn't fought in almost 200 chapters, but I'm telling you, I need my girl Lou to have one final send-off, just like my guy Heisuke did, because that is a great way to finish Sakamoto Days as we know it. Because the fact that we're in the final battle at this point just makes me sad to think that there's gonna be a week that hits that doesn't have this series giving me something crazy to watch. But guys, let me know what you think about Kumanomi's ending, how you think this final fight went. Let me know what you guys think about the power of friendship in Sakamoto Days. And most importantly, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see the next Sakamoto Days review, because you know it will be coming the moment this chapter drops. Hit the hype button, because that's very important now apparently. And guys, most importantly, as always, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.